Alright, so for this video, I'm going to show you how me and my boy Soma made this melody. It's very dreamy. I'm going to show you some tips on how I made the chord progression and how we went about making this melody. If you like this video, subscribe. If you want to see anything more or anything specific, just let me know in the comments below and let's get it. Alright, so to start off the melody, we have an F major chord. Going into an A minor chord, but with a bunch of tension. Going into a C major chord. Going into a D minor chord. And then the same chord, just a higher octave. So with some embellishments, this is how the chord progression sounds now. I think one thing that's important to note about this progression is the fact that everything is not perfectly on grid. And that's because Soma actually played those chords, and I think being able to play them with like kind of on time but not too off time is extremely important in order to get the realism feel. The piano that I decided to use was piano verse, and I'm using this landscape upright piano. It sounds beautiful. It's not even routed to a mixer, which means that I don't even have anything on it. This is just how it sounds. All right, so for the next part of the sample, what we did, we copied the chord progression and we just simplified it because it was important that we had a section where it was way more simple, but it still had the same chords. So all we did was just pitch it up an octave. And then what Soma did was he did a different pattern, and this is the other pattern, and it just added a little bit of movement to the sample. The next part of the sample was actually a sound from Omnisphere, and this sound is the CS80 string pad swell verb, and this is how that sounds, and it's just playing the chord progression. Alright, so for this sound, I actually do not have anything on it. The sound sounded beautiful already, so I actually did not put any effects on it. I just used it just how it was, to be honest. So this is one of the most important sounds, I think. So this sound right here is what I use for the bass, and I think this is a very, very important sound in this specific sample because I think the bass kind of catches you off guard and it just hits you all at once. So this is how that sounds. So for this next sound, I used the first preset in Analog Lab, and the only thing I did was I just lowered the brightness. Instead of it sounding like this, I just lowered it, and now it sounds like this. So that's a big tip. I love doing that for this specific sound. I think it sounds great. All right, so the next part of the sample was actually finding a vocal, and Ree sent me those vocals. She's a really dope singer. We just added it. It just so happened to work. And then we just kind of worked around it. Alright, so for the next part of the sample, Soma ended up adding some passing notes. Not really chords, but more of like just notes, just to fill in some space. And this is how that sounds. for the reverse section, all I did was just reverse the keys, and I also pitched up the piano higher octave. And if you remember that one section that I showed you that Soma did the counter melody with, I just played that up an octave. All right, so the next section, which is actually the most important section, which I think makes the entire sample, is the sound that I got from my Rev2. This is why I love real hardware. You can't get that type of stuff from plugins. I mean, you can, but I just don't think you'd be able to get it, especially like in the moment. This one sound right here definitely put everything together, and I think that's what keeps the sample way more interesting in my opinion, because without it, this is how it sounds. Another thing that I added for this section was I just pitched up her vocals, and this is how that sounds. This sample is actually extremely simple. I think one of the things that I did really well in this sample was just using the same sounds, but using it for different sections. So for example, instead of having just one piano, one octave, I would have it one octave there, and then for the next section, I'll pitch it up. Or if I did pitch it up, then I would put some type of cool effect on it just to have a different type of vibe and make it feel more full without adding too many layers or too many different things, especially hitting the same frequencies. So I think that's one thing I did really well in this sample.